Hey everyone, so if at any point in the video you enjoy what you see, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with the post notifications on. But all that aside, I hope you enjoy the video.
Hey everyone, so recently I've been starting to see a lot of back to school videos in my sub feed, which has led me to the unfortunate realization that school is less than a month away from me. And because it's back to school season, I've been getting a lot of college related questions from you people, whether it be YouTube comments, Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, emails, carrier pigeons. I've been getting a lot. It's like I've made a few college videos and apparently like I'm a college expert in a lot of you people's eyes, which I'm very flattered by, but I can assure you there's a lot better people out there that you could be asking advice from. But since there does seem to be a high demand for these college related videos, I decided I would occasionally do some college related videos on this channel. You know, where I just give you some advice about college because, you know, I completed my freshman year of college. I'm basically an expert. And if you're someone who isn't in college, or even if you've already graduated college, I highly suggest you watch these videos anyway. And that's not because I'm desperate for your watch time. Well, that's part of the reason. But mainly, I think you could add a lot to the conversation by asking certain questions about college and also by giving your own college-related experiences in the comments down below. So to kick off this inaugural episode of these college-related videos, I decided we would cover the question, what should I bring to college? Because college season is starting very soon, I've been getting this question quite a lot. And by quite a lot, I mean probably 4 or 5 times. But still, that's a lot for me. Usually people don't talk to me in general. But before I get into the specifics, I'm going to start this out by giving you a little tip. But the tip I want to give you people is to start packing early. Last year, before my move-in date, I was shoving in a bunch of stuff in my suitcase literally the day before I was supposed to go to school. And if you didn't know, waiting till the last minute to pack all your stuff and rushing the packing process, you're more likely to forget stuff. It's shocking, I know. So if you're an incoming freshman, or even if you're not a freshman, if you're somewhere else in college, I highly recommend you start packing now. Well, not right now. Finish watching this video, get me watch time, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. But after you do that, then start packing because you need to get going. So let's get into the specifics. The first thing you're going to need to bring to college is clothes, obviously. I would personally recommend wearing clothes to college because if you walk around campus naked, you're probably going to get arrested. So unlike high school where people really seem to care what you wear, you would always have to wear the latest things to impress everyone. In college, a lot of people don't really care what you wear to class. Like me, for example, I would just wear a t-shirt and some sweatpants every single day, and I seem to get by fine. My theory as to why a lot of people dress casually in college is because a lot of people may not wake up when their alarm actually goes off, and then by the time they realize that they're late to their 8 a.m. class, they just put on whatever they can find. Sometimes they might even wear what they wore to sleep the night before. Trust me, I'm guilty of that. I've done that several times. So I would personally recommend packing about 2 weeks worth of casual clothes. And obviously you should be packing a sweatshirt, a rain jacket, a winter jacket, a bathing suit, you know, all that fun stuff. And here's a little pro tip here. Bring at least one article of formal clothing. I would advise bringing a button-up shirt, maybe some dress pants, even like a suit jacket. And the reason for this is because you never know when you're going to be invited to a formal event, a funeral, or even a cult meeting. All right, so the next little category of things that you're going to need to bring are self-care items. These are things like shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, you know, that kind of stuff. Now for these self-care items, I personally would recommend buying them in bulk. So maybe go to your local Costco and buy these things in bulk. I've personally never been to Costco. I've always wanted to go inside one, but I've never had enough money for the membership. I personally did not really buy these items in bulk my freshman year, and it really came back to bite me in the butt. What I did is I basically bought one of each thing, and this is pretty bad considering that I go through these products really quickly, which is really weird that I use all these self-care products and I still look like a monster. And another thing about this is that you will run out of these products at really inconvenient times. In the first couple weeks or so of college, there was a morning in which I was showering and then realized that I was out of body wash. I was in the shower, you know, naked, because usually you take showers naked. And I was in there and I didn't have any extra body wash because I had only brought one. So I ended up not using any body wash, which means that I smelled pretty bad. All right, so the next category is like these personal items, you know, like stickers, decorations, pictures, etc. Things that are going to personalize your dorm room. I highly recommend bringing 1 or 2 posters, preferably of something that you like. I wouldn't recommend recommend bringing a poster of the band Weezer if you don't actually like Weezer's music. So me, for example, I brought 2 Chicago Bears posters because I'm a big Chicago Bears fan. I know it's kind of unfortunate, but when you put up these posters of things that you really like, you really feel as if you're at home. So most dorms, if not all dorms, will give you a desk. This is where you can get homework done or procrastinate or whatever else you do at a desk. And the desk that they give you at college is really dull. Like, it's just a regular desk. And usually when I'm doing work at my desk, I'm usually pretty miserable because I'm usually doing like schoolwork. So what I would recommend is getting like some bobbleheads or figurines from home to put on your desk to kind of decorate it. You could also hang up photos on your desk as well. So if you have photos of you and your family or you and your friends from back home, put those up so you can be reminded that those people still exist. Now me, for example, since my family hates me and I don't really have any friends, I don't really have any photos of those things. But if you're someone who does have a good relationship with your family and does have friends, I highly recommend putting those up. Alright, so the next thing you're going to be needing is school supplies. This is going to be pretty brief because there's not really that much you need to know. I would recommend bringing pencils, pens. Make sure you have a notebook for each class. Also, you make sure you do a good job of organizing which notebook is which, because by my 2nd or 3rd week of college, I already had mixed up all the notebooks and was writing like the math notes and like the history section. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is appliances, such as fridges, microwaves, blenders. Okay, you probably don't need to bring a blender for college. So it's important to keep in mind that most colleges have lounges that have things such as stoves, fridges, microwaves, etc. I would recommend checking with your college to make sure that's the case. That being said, just because your college may have a public kitchen area doesn't mean that you shouldn't be bringing certain appliances. Now realistically, you're probably rooming with another person, if not more than one person. But if you do have more than one roommate, you should probably talk to your roommate and coordinate what you guys are going to bring. So the first thing I recommend bringing is a mini fridge. Now, as I said, most colleges will have kitchen areas that will probably have a fridge. But here's the thing, these are public fridges. So if you put your stuff in the fridge, chances are some random person is probably going to eat your stuff. So if you have the ability to buy a mini fridge or you have a roommate who already has a mini fridge, you should probably bring one of those. Another thing that you should probably bring is a microwave. Microwaves are fairly cheap. I know they're like $40 or something like that for like a good microwave. So you should probably bring one because you never know when you're gonna wanna eat popcorn at like 2 a.m. I also recommend getting a humidifier or a fan for your room as well. The heating at my college gets really messed up in the winter, so having these things can really help kind of combat that. The last thing I'd recommend is getting a vacuum. I personally did not have a vacuum last year, and thinking back on it, I probably should have. There would be times where there would be a ton of crumbs on the floor on my side, and I would have to pick them up using my hands, and that would usually take a really long time. So getting a vacuum would probably be in your best interest. I will say, try to coordinate these things with your roommate, like who brings what, because you don't want to be the one who's bringing everything and then your roommate isn't bringing anything. Like, you want to try to split these things pretty evenly. Also, if you don't have enough money to buy these things, you can also rent them as well. I'm sure most schools have places where you can rent these items. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is electronics. Now, the first thing I will say is that it's pretty essential to have a laptop or even a tablet for school. Having a laptop makes your life incredibly easy. Pretty much everyone at my school had a laptop or at least some form of electronic note-taking. Most professors will let you use these things in class, so if you have the money to get one, you should probably get one. Now, a lot of people at my school have MacBooks, but I understand that those are very expensive and you may not be able to afford those. So you can find some pretty good computers that aren't Apple products. You just have to do your research ahead of time. And it's a lot easier to do your homework on a laptop than it is to do it at a public library on one of the slow public library computers. Trust me, I dropped my laptop once when I was watching football late at night. I didn't have my computer for like a week, and I had to live off the public library computers, and it was probably the worst experience of my life. I know that's a real like first world problem right there, but seriously, it was very inconvenient. I also recommend getting a laptop with a decent amount of storage because you're going to need the storage for all the assignments that you have on your computer. My computer personally has a lot of storage, and that's because I have to do a lot of schoolwork, but also I do my YouTube videos as well. And if you didn't know this, video files take up a lot of space on your computer. Also, if you have a laptop, you should get stickers as well. Laptop stickers are cool because it differentiates your computer from other computers, because a lot of people will have the similar type of computer that you do. Also, it's a good way to just make it kind of personal. So go to a website like Redbubble, which specializes in giving you these kind of laptop stickers, and you should buy some of those to kind of personalize your computer. So if you have all these electronics that you're bringing to school, I would also recommend that you bring chargers as well. When you're in college, you're really going to need your phone pretty much all the time, so having an external charger is a good way to pretty much assure that your phone will never die. Also, I'd recommend getting one of those external outlet thingies. I don't really know what they're called, but basically they're those things where it has a bunch of different outlets so you can charge a bunch of stuff at once. Also, I'd recommend getting an extension cord, because sometimes if it's late at night and you want to do work on your bed and your cable can't reach all the way to your bed, you can have an extension cord to eliminate that problem. The next thing is a television, and I will say having a TV is not necessary. You don't need one, especially because most colleges have public TVs in the lounges that you can use, except the ones at my school weren't very good and they usually wouldn't work, and we had lost all the remotes by the second week of school. And also there was always people in there watching the TV, so usually I couldn't watch it anyway. But even if that's the case, you don't even need a TV. I personally watch a lot of sports, and I was able to watch all of those on my laptop. Now, I personally don't have many friends, so there weren't really many scenarios in which I would watch TV with a bunch of people. But when I did, we would usually go to someone's room who does have a TV, or we would try to find a public lounge. But if you do end up bringing a TV to college, just know that a lot of people will try to abuse that, and they'll try to go into your room all the time and use that TV. Now, I was fortunate enough of not having a TV, but I had friends who did, and their room was like a tourist hotspot. And if you want to bring gaming consoles, go for it. Again, it's not necessary. Also, keep in mind that the dorm rooms that you're gonna have are going to be pretty small, so if you're gonna bring a TV, it can't be like one of those gigantic flat screens. It's gonna have to be pretty small. But that's all the advice that I have for today's video. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, please leave a like, because it lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. So if we get 40 likes on today's video, I will make another college related video. If you have anything that you think that I missed, please leave it down below. If you have any questions, please leave them down below as well. I'll try to be really responsive. Also, please leave your comments down below suggesting other college related videos that you want to see from me, or just other video ideas in general that you want to see as well. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.